Hey there, it's Kayleen, and today I'm here to give you 6 steps to ramp up your workout. So I know for me personally, I get bored very easily if I'm doing the same thing day in and day out. And then also to break through some plateaus, I need to change up my workouts. So these 6 steps will help you break that boredom and break through any plateaus that you might have reached. Step number 1 is to enforce stricter form. So some of us just go through the motions. We try and go through it very quickly, and we're not doing these exercises with proper form. So enforce stricter form will make you go through an exercise with good form, incorporating more muscles at one time. So the more muscles that you can incorporate in one exercise is better bang for your buck because you're going to burn more calories. Step number 2 is to implement full range of motion. So this goes back to step number 1 in a way. When you're doing an exercise for squat, for example, most people don't get down to the depth that they could just because of their mobility. So work on your mobility and get full range of motion. The moment you go through full range of motion, just like step number 1, you're going to incorporate more muscle groups, which again means more bang for your buck. So the more muscle groups that you're incorporating, the more calories you burn in one exercise, and who's not gonna argue with me on that that's a good thing. Step number 3 is to go slower. And when I say go slower, my body cringes. I think, ouch. For example, on the downward phase of a pull-up, if you go down nice and slow, you're going to test those muscle fibers a little bit more. It just amplifies that exercise. So give it a try. If you're in a squat, come up a little bit slower or go in the downward motion a little bit slower. On your pull-ups, try that. And I want to know how you feel after going slower in the motion. Step number 4 is to try a unilateral exercise. So for example, a single-legged squat. It's going to throw your stability off, which engages your core. Again, going back to engaging more muscle groups in one exercise so that you're going to burn more calories in that one exercise. Step number 5 and 6 are probably the best. Step number 5 is to decrease your rest time. So I see a lot of people at the gym that take 1, 2, 4, 5, 6-minute rests, and they're not actually getting their heart rate up much. And that's great for some of your workouts. Like if you're focusing on strength, go for power, and take long rests so that when you go back into that exercise, you have that strength and that power. But if you're going to really bust through some plateaus, reduce that rest time to maybe 30 seconds and then go right back into that exercise. You're gonna burn more calories in a 30-minute workout than you would have before. And then step number 6 is by far my favorite. Add some interval training. I love ending my strength training sessions with an interval circuit. So I'm going to give you a good example. I like to choose 3 different exercises, and depending on my energy that day, I do a 1-to-1 or a 1-to-2 ratio. So what that means is my 3 exercises might be sprinting, rowing, and cycling sprints. I will do, if I'm doing a 1-to-1 ratio, that's a day that I'm feeling really good, really energized. I'll do 30 seconds of all-out work with 30 seconds of rest. If I'm not feeling too hot that day, I'll do a 1-to-2 ratio. So 30 seconds of all-out work with a whole minute rest. And you can change that up. You can do 45 seconds of work and a minute 15 of rest, whatever you want and whatever fits in your schedule. But those 3 exercises, during that work interval, you better be working so hard that you need that rest time. You're dying, your heart feels like it's pounding through your chest. If you're sprinting, your legs just cannot sprint anymore. Do 8 to 12 minutes of that. That's usually 8 to 10 rounds, and that's an awesome way to finish your exercise. So give these 6 steps a try to amplify your workouts, and let me know if you have any questions.